morning. This is Intro to Algebra for Monday, April the 27th. Today we're going to talk about lesson 111. So if you'll go ahead and turn there, we're going to be on page 311. Now, I know we started this lesson the other day, but I want to review it because we did not get through the whole thing. First, interest. Interest is the amount of money you pay extra when you borrow money. But it's the money the bank pays you if you put money into a savings account, okay? And you leave it there. And the longer you leave it, the more they pay you, okay? So, how do you calculate how much money they're going to pay you or how much you have to pay if you borrow? You take the rate, that is the percentage, okay, a percent. Now, if we say that account pays 2% interest, that is what they're going to pay you for having your money in their bank. That's the rate. The amount, we learned that the real word for amount is principal. Principal is the amount of money you put into your account. When I multiply the percent times the principal or the amount I put in, I will get the interest, the amount of money the bank is going to pay me, okay? Now, if it is paid once a year, that is called simple interest. If they pay it, say, every quarter, and they roll that interest automatically into your account, and then they pay you interest on the new amount, and then they roll that, that's called compounded interest. And we'll talk about that a little later. Right now, I want you to look at number 5 on lesson 111 in your problem set. It says, Akeem put $15,000 in the bank at 10% simple interest. How much money did he get when he withdrew his money after 3 years, okay? So he took his $15,000 and he took it down to the bank. The bank says we're going to pay you 10% interest, okay? So we know that 10% changes to what decimal? You have to drop your percent sign and move your decimal point, place 2 points. So it is 0.01 times the amount was 15,000. Okay? When I multiply 0.01 times 15,000, I'm going to get $1,500. Okay? All I did was multiply those two numbers and I got 1,500. Now, my question is, how much interest did he get? $1,500. But my question, if you go back, it says how much money did he get when he withdrew his money after 3 years, okay? They pay him $1,500 each year he leaves it in the bank, okay? So what does he have in the bank? He has $15,000 plus he has the $1,500 that they're going to pay him for the first year. They're going to pay him $1,500 for the second year, and they're going to pay him $1,500 for the third year. So we're going to multiply the 1,500 by 3 because he left it in there for 3 years. Once we do that, we're going to add them together. So we have 15,000, and we know that 3 times 1,500 is $4,500 or $4,500. Now, all I need to do is add them together. 15,000 plus 4,500 is $19,500. After 3 years, the $15,000 he put in there after three years, he now has $19,500. Now I want you to look at number 6. Because it says in number 6, how much would Akeem's $15,000 be worth in 3 years if it had been deposited at 10% and compounded annually? Okay, now there's a little difference to this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, I'm going to have to erase one of my problems here, okay, so we can have a little more room. All right, we're going to say the first year he's going to get 10%, right? And he's going to put $15,000 in the bank, okay? Easy enough. When we multiply that out, how much interest does he have? We said from our first problem, he has $1,500 in interest, okay? Now, That's the first year. That's what he earned after the first year. Now, the second year, he's still getting 10%, but he no longer has $15,000 in the bank. He has the $15,000 he put in, plus the $1,500 interest he made. So now, Akeem has $16,500 in the bank. Now, we're going to multiply this times 0.1 because he's getting 10% interest. This is the first year he earned $1,500. We added that, so this is the new amount because he didn't take it out. This is his new amount, okay? We're going to multiply it by the rate again. So we're going to say rate times the amount is the interest. So we're going to say 0.1 times 16,500 is $1,650. That's the interest he made the second year. But he's not taking it out yet, so we're going to multiply it again by 0.1. All right, but what's his new amount in the bank? This money's already in the bank. He's adding this amount of money, so his new amount of money is going to be $18,150. How much interest will he earn on $18,150? He will earn $1,815. Okay? Now, at the end of the third year, we're going to add that in because we're going to have this. We're going to add it right back in, and he's going to get $19,965. That is what he would have if the account was compounded interest. Okay? Here, he put it in. They said, we're going to pay you 10% each year for that you leave it. He left it for 3 years. He gets $19,500. Here, he put it in. They said, we're going to pay you 10% interest, but it's compounded annually. So every year, we will just roll your interest into it. We'll pay you more interest. So he ended up with $19,965. Which was the better deal? Well, obviously, the compounded interest. Here's the catch. Normally, in most situations, they will not pay you as high of a rate for compounded interest, okay? In our problem today, they wanted you to understand how it worked by using the same percentages. Let's look at number 7. It says to graph. If x is greater than or equal to 1. When a number is greater than or equal to, what do we do to the marker? We color it in, okay? So make your 1. Remember, 5 numbers are plenty. The number that we're talking about goes in the middle, 2 on each side. That's it, all right? So we've handled the equal to. How do we do the greater than? Well, we're going to draw the arrow to the greater numbers. Remember, the greater numbers are going to go the same way as this arrow, okay? We're going to draw our arrow the same way, okay? It is greater than. Let's look at number 8. Number 8 says, if 750 is increased by 80%, what is the resulting number? If 750 is increased by 80%, what is the resulting number? Well, what's the formula we're going to use? We're going to say percent over 100 times the of equals the is. So let's get rid of this so we can have some room to work. Okay? So what we know is it's increased by 80%. So what is my percent? Think. Did I only want 80% of it, or did I increase it by 80%? Look at your story problem again. It says that it is increased by 80%. I have all of my original plus 80%. So what percent am I using? 180, okay? 180 times the of, and it says if 750 is increased, so that's my of. So we have 750 equals what? Okay? So what does it equal? If I multiply that out, I'm going to get rid of these because that's going to be easy enough. I can get rid of this and get rid of the 0 here. So I really am just saying 18 times 75 to make my math problem a lot simpler, okay? And so I have the answer is 1,350, okay? Let's look at our next problem in our book. It says, what percent of 95 is 228? What percent of 95 is 228? We're going to use the same formula, aren't we? Okay, do we know the percent? We don't. So we're going to say what percent of, what's the number? Of 95 equals 228. Okay? What does it tell me to do? It says to multiply in order to find your percent. But I need to find out that number. So what am I going to do? Just like an equation, it tells me to multiply, so I'm going to divide. Divide by 95. Okay, this cancels, leaving me what percent? Now I have 228 divided by 95. Which part of that goes inside? Which part of that is my dividend, or it goes inside my box? The 228. The outside is called the divisor. Your divisor's on the outside. 95 will not go into 2. It will not go into 22, but it will go into 228. How many times? Okay, it's going to go into it 2 times, right? Okay, so let's put our 2 up there. Now, once you multiply it by 2, 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 9 is 18, plus the one you carried is 9. So let's subtract this out. Okay, so we have 12 minus 9. And we have 38 is less than 95, so we're going to put our decimal point and annex a 0, bring it down. How many times will 95 go into 380? Let's try 4, okay? Because 4 times 9 is 36, so that gets us in the general vicinity. 4 times 5 is 20, put our 2 down, or put our 0 down to carry the 2. 4 times 9 plus the 2 I carried gives me 38. Okay, so my answer is 2.4, except I have to write it as a percent because that's my question. What do? Move your decimal 2 places to the right and add your percent sign. So we're going to go 1 and then 1, 2, and add my percent sign. So my answer is 240%. Okay? Let's look at these Roman numerals. Remember, Roman numerals, if the number is smaller than you put a small number in front of a larger number, you subtract it. If it goes after the larger number, you add it. So we have the number 19. Okay, 19. Closest number to 19 would be an X. Okay, because X is 10. Now if I put an X and a 5, that gives me 15, but I'd have to put 4 ones after it to get the 19, and I cannot put more than 3 of any one number together. So what am I going to do instead? I'm going to go to 20 and subtract 1. So how do I do that? I say I, X, X. 1 less than 20 is 19. Now let's look at 44. How are we going to write 44? Okay, well 40 is close to 50, but it's a little less, so I'm going to say 10 less than 50, so I'm going to put X, L. 10 less than 50 is 40. Now I just have to put 4. How do you write 4? I, V, which means 1 less than 5. All right, let's look at your book again. It tells us on number 11. Let's find number 11. We're going to find the volume in cubic feet of the right solid, whose base is shown in our book here, and whose height is 2 feet in dimensions. Okay, so let's erase some problems here on the board and make some space. All right. We're going to come back and do this diagram together, okay? So make sure you are draw it on your paper so that you're ready to work with me.